Is going on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week, New Comic Book Day, June 9th, 2021. So let's get started. I'm Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. So before we jump into the first appearances and key issues and covers and all the good stuff coming out this week, I want to ask you to hit that subscription button if you're not subbed up to the channel already. Turn on that notification bell. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the video, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the list. Let me know if there's any books that I should be looking for, any cool covers. As I say each week, I want this to be a discussion amongst the community about the books that are coming out. So yeah, absolutely feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think, and let me know what you're looking at this week. All right, guys, so let's get going. First up on our list this week, we're going to do our covers. First cover on the list this week is Transformers Annual 2021 #1, and it's the 1 in 10 variant by Freddie Williams. Gorgeous cover with Optimus Prime. I really dig it, and if I can find it, if it's in my LCS, I'll probably pick it up. I don't read Transformers, but I think that Optimus Prime cover is pretty sick. Next up, we've got the WEB of Spider-Man #1 variant. And again, this is not one that really stood out to me for some reason, but I did notice on Midtown Comics that it was sold out, and I'm assuming it's because it has the new attraction at Disney World, California, the Avengers attraction. I think it's called Disney's California Adventure Attraction. And it's that variant that has that on the cover. So it's pretty cool. Again, probably not something that I'm going to pick up, but I did want to at least mention it here on the list because it is sold out on Midtown right now. And then we've got Wind #7 from Boom Studios. There's a variant cover art by Joanna the Mad, kind of like you're a devil sitting on a throne. Very, very cool cover. Again, not one I know that I'm going to pick up, but it really stood out to me when I was trying to do the list this week, and I was looking at all the covers. I was like, damn, that one's pretty sweet. So I put it on here. Maybe something that you want to check out. And then last but not least, and probably my favorite cover of the week, is the DC Pride #1 variant. Gorgeous color with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Just the colors, just the whole thing is just beautiful. Love the cover. That's a definite pickup. I'm a big fan of Jim Bartel's art. I have become a big fan of Jim Bartel's art, and so I'm definitely going to grab this one. So that's it for the covers, guys. Let's jump into the first appearances. All right, so we got a bunch of first appearances this week, and we're going to start off with Batman Urban Legends #4. In this, you get the first cameo appearance of Cheer, the manufacturer of the drug Cheer Drops. And then you get the first appearance of the Chaos Master in the Tim Drake backup story. So a couple of first appearances in there, and that's Batman Urban Legends #4. Then also in that web of Spider-Man, WEB of Spider-Man #1 that we just talked about with the cover, the variant cover, you have the first appearance of Harley Keener, a boy who first appeared in the movie Iron Man 3. You have the reintroduction of Own Me. Then you have the first team appearance of the Worldwide Engineering Brigade. Oni and Keener are both featured characters at Disney's Avengers Campus. So that's probably why that book is so hot and that variant's hot, because these characters are featured at the new Avengers Campus at Disney World, California. We've got DC Pride #1, and this is the first appearance of Dreamer, a character from CW Supergirl, debuting in comics. And this is one we're going to talk about in a little more detail coming up in the list. But for right now, you do have the first appearance of Dreamer in DC Pride #1. Then you've got Heroes Reborn Nightwing #1. You've got the first appearance of Nightbird, an alternate reality Gwen Stacy. Then we've got Heroes Reborn Squadron Savage #1, and this is the first appearance of the Squadron Savage, Elektra, the Punisher, Crossbones, Cloak, and Murder Hornet. And this is also the first appearance of Murder Hornet. Then you have Star Wars Bounty Hunter #13. This is the first cameo appearance of Deathstick, who's an assassin. And then finishing up the first appearances list this week is X-Men 21. You have the debut of the Krakoan X-Men team. So those are our first appearances. Plenty to choose from this week. If that's something you collect, you've got plenty of books to pick up. So now we're going to head into our second prints. And really only one second print this week, and that's Nottingham #2, the second print from Mad Cave. Nottingham has been an incredibly hot book. I have yet to get cover A on any of these, and so I've actually been picking up the second prints. And that's how I've been reading the story. And the story's cool. I don't know that it necessarily deserves all the hype that it's getting, but it is a pretty cool story. So, Nottingham #2, second print. That's the only second print I got on the list this week. Let's jump into the honorable mentions. Of course, on the honorable mentions, I always tell you about a few books that I don't necessarily highlight, but like Joker 4 is out this week. Great series, one of my favorites. Geiger #3, Spider-Man Spider Shadow #3, and Proctor Valley Road #4 are out this week. All those books are on my pull list, and I'm looking forward to jumping in and reading all those. Story's been great thus far. Now, the new books out this week. From Scout, we have Cherry Blackbird #1. And this one, it almost made my top 5 just because of the synopsis alone. And it reads, it's a horror series about a rock star who sold her soul to the devil for fame, but can escape eternal damnation if she can recover 7 demons that escaped the abyss. So a little horror. I found I don't really like horror movies, but I really like the horror comics. I don't know why. I've just never been a big fan of horror movies, but the horror comics really speak to me right now. So, and you got a rock star, sold her soul to the devil for fame. That's right up my alley. Like, I love music, comic books, you kind of tie all those together. Seems like a kind of a fun story. So that's Cherry Blackbird #1 from Scout. Then we've got Freak Show #1 from Behemoth. This looks pretty interesting too. It's a post-apocalyptic story in the spirit of Mad Max involving a psychedelic drug addict surviving in a glacial wasteland. So that could be funny. You got a psychedelic drug addict in a glacial wasteland. He's tripping out. That could be interesting. It could be fun to read. So that's Freak Show #1 from Behemoth. Then you've got Secret Land #1 from Dark Horse, and it reads, the war is over and Hitler is dead, but a man believing his fiancée is dead still fights with reckless heroism, not knowing she is living undercover and about to arrive at the Third Reich's last bastion. So that sounds kind of cool. Again, it's one of those that I'm probably going to pick up and give a glance through, see if I like it. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to pick that one up or not yet, but you may dig that. Seems like a pretty cool premise for a story. So then you've got a couple of books that are just finishing up. The Challenge of the Super Sons #3, and this one is The Origin of Aurora. I've read the first 2. I like them both. They're fun reads. I don't know if I will continue with it or not, but I'm probably going to at least pick up this #3 and see how the story continues to go, and then I may wait on it for trade paperback or something like that. But yeah, it's been a fun read so far. I've enjoyed the book. So that's Challenge of the Super Sons #3, Origin of Aurora. Then you've got Iron Man #9, and that's The Origin of Korvac. So I'd like to highlight, origin stories, first appearances, things like that here on the list, and so you've got that in Iron Man #9. So that wraps up our honorable mentions this week. Now let's jump into our top 5. Number 5 on the list is Web of Spider-Man #1. This is the one we talked about earlier in the first appearances. Also in the cover. Apparently this is a pretty hot book. As I said earlier, it is sold out, the cover A and B at Midtown Comics right now. You do have a first appearance in it, and then you've got a couple of characters featured that are going to be featured at the new Adventureland or Avengersland there at Disney World, California. So because of that, I put that on the list here at number 5. 4 on the list, and this just seems crazy to me, but again, when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely one I'm picking up. And number 4 is Bunny Mask #1 from Aftershock. And the synopsis reads as this: sealed in a cave before the dawn of man, released by a crazed madman, Bunny Mask walks our world once more. I have no idea what that means, but the cover is pretty sick. And you got some dude that's been trapped forever. He gets released by a madman, and he's walking around wearing a bunny mask. I don't know. That sounds crazy to me, and just crazy enough to make me want to read it. So Bunny Mask #1 from Aftershock is number 4 on my list this week. All right, so number 3 on the list this week is White #1 from Black Mask. Now, I put this on the list because it is a limited run. It's limited to 2,500 copies, and it's a sequel to the story Black. And the synopsis, it's basically, there's only one person that stands in the way of the president's policies to control the black superheroes, and that is a guy named Kareem Jenkins and his allies. So apparently Black #1 was optioned. I can't remember if it was by Netflix or somebody else. And then this White #1 being a sequel to that could play a part in that, as well as the limited copies. That thing could be a ghost and could have some real value down the road. So that's why I put it on here at number 3, and that's White #1 from Black Mask Comics. All right, number 2 on the list, and this is probably one of the books I'm looking most forward to reading this week, and that is 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton #1 from Image Comics. Now, it basically reads, the world's most unlikable action star has been found dead, and his previous TV sidekicks are looking to solve the mystery. That seems like a lot of fun to me. I could see where that would be funny. Interesting stories could come out of that. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one this week, and that is 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton #1. All right, we've made it to number 1 on the list, and that is DC Pride #1. And I'm just going to read this again. I already read this earlier, but I'm going to read it again. This is the first appearance of Dreamer, a character from CW Supergirl debuting in comics. Now, this is the first appearance of a transgender character that appeared on Supergirl. And as far as I know, this is the first time in comics that you've had a transgender character. And this being Pride Month, and there's a ton of Pride covers out there and all that, you got this DC Pride #1 with this new character. And I think this is a, kind of a, I don't want to overplay it, but a historical day as far as comic books are concerned. Having a transgender character. I know we've had gay characters in comic books before, but to have a transgender character is a big step. And I think you're seeing kind of the future of comic books as well, of what some of the characters will be like moving forward. And if this is truly the first transgender character in a book, that's a big deal. So that's why I put DC Pride #1 at #1 on my list this week. Looking forward to picking that one up. Going to pick up the variant too. I mentioned it. That variant is beautiful by Jim Bartel. So yeah, definitely going to grab this one this week, and maybe a couple copies of it, to be honest with you. So, all right, guys, that is our list this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that it helps you out there in your hunt. Maybe give you an idea of a few books, maybe that you weren't looking at, that you might want to pick up and give a read. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me for a little bit. Remember, got the code still with Street Level Hero LA, STC10. Use that code, get 10% off your order. Most importantly, 25% of the overall order goes to the American Cancer Society for cancer research. So, great cause. Been doing really well with that. Remember, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment. All that good stuff that we have to tell you to do in these videos. And guys, have a great new comic book day. I know I'm going to. All right. Until next time.